Hey y'all, while I am on here talking, I am just going to be getting ready for my day. Yes, it's late. If some of y'all don't know, I do teach Chinese children English overseas. And I, yeah, I look crazy, I know. I am getting ready to get supplies for the weekend because the weekend where school has let back in for them could be very crazy. That means I could be up Friday night, Saturday night, go to church Sunday. So, and I mean like from 8 to 11:30 tonight, then 12 to 8:30 in the morning, then 8 to 8:30. I mean, it just keeps going. That's their schedule. Between 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. here, they're sleeping. 8 p.m. something like that. So, guys, it is, of course, a sad but a recognized day, and I wanted to show y'all my little. I know it's not a real flag. I could not find a flag. A nice flag to hang in my classroom. This I like. It's really low. I know y'all can't see it. I'm gonna move it because that just doesn't do good for me. But I did get this on a whim. Nothing's going right today, y'all. Just give me 1 second. This is important today. So I've got my little lei on. No, I'm not in Hawaii. Make sure that flag is, well, you know. I am torn sometimes about whether or not we should have went to war. As a former history major, I have enough. I like 3 hours of having a minor in history. And I did most of my classes in 20th century history, World War II, the American Civil War Reconstruction. So, I know that some people really lost people there. I lost someone in Afghanistan, and I knew them a long time ago. Started out in a pen pal program, because I totally have always been pro-America, pro-troops. And my grandfather served twice in World War II on my dad's side. He was drafted. He didn't have a choice. It's different. It's different nowadays. So, today is September 11th, 9/11. I was in class with Miss Ramey. I love Miss Ramey. To this day, she's an inspiration to me. She was always upbeat. She didn't cross any lines. She was the epitome of a teacher, along with Miss Johnson, who taught me a lot about America. And I know some people we lost physically. They died. Some people we lost in other ways. Some people were hurt in a way that they may never fully emotionally, physically recover. Some of them were hurt mentally and emotionally. But what really stood out to me as I was thinking about the people that I know that served, the people that I knew that served weren't just looking for a free ride. I had friends in college who served. They were in college and they all of a sudden served. When it happened, I'm sad to say that there was some issues with some people in our classes that did not stand for the pledge. Now, this is nothing that anybody else would know but us as students, but there was a real tense moment there that next day that we went to school, that when they didn't stand. And it was a religious reason, I understand. But it was it was it was tough. It was tough, and I know it was tough on them. But and I know people who went to war who were smart, who had already been to college. I know women who had went to war. I know men that went to war. I know there are people that I love all over the place. People who are damaged. People that I know need prayer because of this war. And as I look back on it, and I know everybody wants to blame President Bush. I happen to like President Bush. There always are things that I don't agree with. So y'all, you could bring up this or that, and I would say I don't agree with that. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But in my studies in college, which 2009 is when I graduated, so y'all have to remember this has been a long time ago. I learned that Congress can declare war without the president's approval. I really feel like there was such an outrage. There was such a cry for the blood of the citizens, the first responders, the mothers, the fathers, that some that just died in the building, but others that just leapt to their death. The last phone calls. You watch that movie, I think it's on Netflix, the last phone calls of the people who died in the actual event of 9/11. So there was an outrage. We were outraged. We were nowhere near where it had happened, but we were outraged. Flight 93 shows the story of the people fighting back against the terrorists. And they did what they not completely set out to do in the beginning, but after they figured out that where they were going, they said, whatever, we gotta make a plan, we gotta do it. I will never speak against the soldiers, the first responders, because I have no clue what they went through. I have been through some things that I've never been through. Watching on TV. Wow. And just see a glimpse of my loved one. I knew they wore that to work that day. See them falling from the sky. Guys, I don't know as a nation at this point if we really, it says never forget. Went to Walmart yesterday. Very disappointed. School stuff there everywhere, right for you to see. I went and I took some stuff back, and I was going to get a flag. I had this day on my mind. Yesterday was Suicide Prevention Day. We have a lot of members who were in war who have committed suicide, who've attempted, who have no limbs left. And they're still not sorry that they went over there. Some of them. We have I believe it's a congressman. I know he's in politics as I follow him, Dan Kershaw. He doesn't have an eye. He doesn't let it stop him from helping the people in Texas. And you all know people like that. And I know people, my grandfather, when he made his, my family is very into making sure that people are comfortable when something like that happens. My grandfather made his arrangements before he died. My grandmother has. Paid for it himself. He was drafted into the Navy in the beginning, and then into the Marines the second time. It's an amazing piece of history to see his dog tag. They're a circle. They just have a number on their circle. And when he come back, I don't know if he talked about it with my grandmother. They were young. I think in one of those times she was pregnant. I'm not sure. Only one time did I ever hear him talk about anything political. And I was there, and it was a day that usually I'm not there, I'm pretty sure. And we needed to land somewhere to help some people. Something was going on. This is years ago. And he flat cussed them. I'm not saying that to be proud, but he flat cussed that country and those people. Because, and I can't give you direct quotes and things because my grandfather isn't here. I should have wrote it down, but I was too young to know. My grandfather cussed them flat. He was very protective of us grandchildren. It was not something that he did. If someone came across the road with alcohol, they didn't come in. If someone was saying nasty things like that, and he wasn't saying the worst, but it was something that I wasn't used to. And he was very, very protective of us, and he made sure the people that he had around us were upstanding people, and he cussed them. That is the first time I'd ever seen him respond to news. He watched it every night. He'd come in there and unplug our Nintendo and make us so mad. And he'd watch his news. Sometimes he'd fall asleep, but this time he didn't. He was enraged. I'm not talking about, he was mad. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. Somebody sitting in a seat in Congress, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. He had been there. And I don't know because he never talked about it, but either that or he lost people there. Or because of that situation. Because they would not let us land there. And when that hit the news, it hit him like a bowling ball. My grandfather, when he passed, when he did his funeral arrangements, he did not want taps played, gun salute. He did not want a military funeral. And all the years that he never talked about it. And then that happening says a lot about what someone goes through over there. That they, even in death, don't want their family to think about it. It's hard, y'all. It's hard to think about. There are so many things that happen to people when they go over there. And they see things that us as Americans will not understand. They do. A man that I knew a long time ago we met at a doctor's office, and I just kept up with him because he had some problems. He was in a wheelchair, and he was a Marine, ex-Marine, and he said, in confidence, and so I'm not going to say what he said, but I'm telling y'all, some of the things they deal with, that they have to make a split-second decision on. You hear these stories and you're like, oh, that can't be true. The father won't send their kid out to get shot. Yes, they will. Because they know we have a value of life. And I know y'all are saying, well, this is just bringing bad memories back for people. It may be. It may be. But I want y'all to know 110%. Any of you who have any way been in our military, for those of you that have lost family in 9/11, Whether you agreed with what was done or not, I want you to know that I know you were not you, you were doing the hardest job on the earth. And I will never not support the military. As I get older and I see the effects that it's had on people in my life, as I see some of the people struggling with health and not getting the right help, what can I do about that? I don't even know. I don't know. But I want all y'all, any of you family members who've lost someone, and I know this probably won't reach anyone who was directly affected by 9/11, and that's fine. But I want y'all to know it is something to remember. If I cannot go into a major, if I can't go into Walmart and find an American flag for 9/11, it breaks my heart. It really does. And I'm not saying ban Walmart. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is we need to be there for the people. This day, for some people, is the worst day of their life. And putting a frame on Facebook on your picture isn't enough. If you're a service member and you're having trouble today, I know a very generous person who has been in the service for a long time, who is not now, and I can 100%, I know they would, I could 100% reach out and find out, what you need to do. We don't honor y'all enough. So, today, I want y'all to know, as I've said before, but today especially, I want you to know I support you. Man, woman, I don't care what any other adjectives you want to add to that. I support you. You are keeping our nation safe. And maybe at one point, maybe the only thing that can. One of these days, maybe politics just isn't going to do it. Maybe reaching out to countries and trade and sanctions, maybe one day that's not going to work. But I have faith in you, the United States military. And I believe that we should not only remember this on 9/11, we should remember it every day. Not to the fact that we're scared or we're hiding in the house, but the fact that we realize that war actually came to the United States. All the time people said it couldn't happen, but it did. Y'all are my Wonder Womans and my Supermans. And for those who have lost people, I love you. I care for you. And the only way I've gotten through that is Jesus. So, my flag's gonna be, my little flag that I couldn't find any, the real one, is gonna be hung for you today. I'm wearing my little lei. And when I see people out today who have those hats on, I served here, I was a Marine, Korea, whatever. Let's make sure they know they're loved. Because it doesn't matter when they served, when they see people in the military where they served die, it affects them too. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to be all sad, but I want y'all to know that as far as I'm concerned, I will never, ever stop honoring the military and the people who are in it. Y'all have a great 9/11. And remember, God bless.